Hello, today I'm going to be showing how I make wooden pens. To do this you need to start with a pen kit. This consists of a top, a bottom and a clip, 1 or 2 brass tubes to put in the middle, a transport to move the refill in and out, a refill, and if it's got 2 brass tubes, normally a ring to join the two together and make it look pretty. You also need a piece of wood. I've got this rather nice piece of spalted beech which I'm going to be using, but if you haven't got a piece that's ready prepared like this, you'll need to prepare the wood by cutting it into strips of about 20mm by 20mm of whatever length to fit your brass tubes. So let's go ahead and see how we do that. The next thing we need to do is mark up the wood for cutting. Each piece needs to be slightly longer than the tube. You don't need to be particularly accurate because we're going to trim it later. Once we've marked it up, we put another line in to help us reorientate the wood when we're finished. I use my bandsaw to cut the wood because it's set up and ready to go and it's easy, but you can use any type of saw. Sorry about the focus, the autofocus decided to take a holiday at this point. The next thing we need to do is drill a hole in the centre of the wood to fit the brass tube. I prefer to use a lathe for this, as I find it easier to make sure I hit the centre, but you can use anything. Pillar drill is probably best if you don't want to use your lathe, but you could use a hand drill. I do have the slight problem that the travel on my tailstock isn't quite long enough to drill through a normal size piece of wood, so halfway through I need to move my tailstock. The next job is to glue the brass tubes inside the wood. We need to rough up the brass tubes so the glue's got something to grip. I like using epoxy resin for this. In this instance, Araldite 5-minute, though I normally use Araldite 15-minute because it gives more working time. Some people use CA glue. I'm not keen on that because it's a bit fragile and can break. When we apply the glue to the brass tube, it's important that it goes right round the tube and right up to the end that we're applying it to. You don't need to apply it to both ends because we're going to push the tube through the glue. We twist the tube as we're putting it through to make sure that there's full coverage. The last section you don't need to twist because the glue's already everywhere. Okay, I've left the blanks to dry overnight because I don't really trust 5-minute epoxy to be dry in 5 minutes. So the next thing to do is use the barrel trimmer to remove any loose glue on the ends of the blanks and trim them to square. now we come to the fun bit, actually turning the pen. I'm using a Axminster compression mandrel here. One advantage of that is you use bushings to give you the sizes. These bushings are all the same size. Some pen kits give different size bushings for different parts. An alternative to using a mandrel is to turn between centres, which saves you the cost of the mandrel, but you lose the advantage of having the bushings as a guide to size. The remote control of my camera stopped working while I was assembling the pen, so I filmed another pen the next day, same type of kit, very similar assembly. I'm using my homemade pen press here. Here I'm checking the position of the clip. I wanted it to cover up a small mark that I didn't like.